Hello, Sea Lion fans, and welcome to this latest edition of Cross Exam. Joining us today, we have Professor Kim Hogelucht and senior women's basketball player Cara Liggins. Professor Hogelucht, take it away.
All right, thank you, Danny, and thank you, Cara, for being with us today. It's just an honor to be able to spend a few moments with you as we learn a little bit more about you being a student athlete. So just for everybody out there, if you don't know Cara, she's actually a PLNU graduate student, and she is a member of our women's basketball team. And so just to get a little bit more of a glimpse of your experience as a student athlete, I have a few questions for you, Cara. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm in San Diego right now. We're practicing a little bit, but it's very limited. So, I mean, it's nice to be able to be with some of our teammates. We're in two groups, so be with half of my teammates and be able to touch the ball a little bit. And I live right now in a house with 3 other teammates, so that's going well.
Well, that's good. So you have the camaraderie around you, and you still get to practice a little ball. So that's awesome. So I want to start just talking to you a little bit about the fact that you grew up in New Mexico. And so when was the first time that you heard about Point Loma Nazarene University?
Yeah, so actually going into my senior year, didn't have very many offers. I had one to Concordia University Irvine, which is one of our rivals in the PacWest.
Yeah.
So I actually committed there because it was my highest. I had some lower division offers, but my highest division offer. So I committed there, and then I ended up winning the state championship my senior year. So I was getting a little bit more attention, but I was like, it's too late. I'm committed. And then unfortunately, some things happened with the coaches at Concordia. So they gave me the option to decommit. I went on a visit back to Concordia to meet the new coach. And while I was there, it just so happened that the old coaches were best friends with the coach at Point Loma. And they were like, you should look at her, like, you should pick her up. And I was like, oh, I don't really know anything about Point Loma, but I'll go on a visit. Like, San Diego's a great place. I came on a visit, and I absolutely loved it. So this wasn't until April of my senior year. And a week later, I committed. So it was an interesting story, but I'm definitely super grateful to end up where I did.
Well, lucky for us, okay? But, I think it's all part of God's plan that you're here, and we're happy you are. So
definitely.
Tell us a little bit about your major and how you decided on your major. I know I've had you in class, so that's been a real joy. So we know you're in the business area, but tell us more about your major and why you chose that.
Yeah, so I graduated in May 2020 with my bachelor in business administration. Coming into college, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Since I was little, I've always wanted to be a lawyer. I never knew what type of law I wanted to do, if I wanted to do criminal or family or business litigation. So I kind of was just like, okay, well, this is something general I can throw myself into and then figure out where to go from there. And then now I'm actually pursuing my MBA. So I graduated in 3 years and was able to have my scholarship cover this final year, which is something I'm super grateful for.
I mean, to me, that's just absolutely incredible that you graduated in 3 years while being a student athlete. Now you're getting your MBA. What was your secret to doing all of that successfully? What did you do to be able to accomplish that? And I hope I don't steal your thunder for later on, because I'm going to ask you about your accomplishment, but you got Student of the Year for our business admin majors. And so, I mean, that is a huge honor. And you did all of that in 3 years while being on the basketball team. So again, what is your secret? What were those keys to success?
Yeah, so I have to give a shout out to a senior when I was a freshman who also had graduated in 3 years. So by the time I got there, she had graduated and she was pursuing her MBA in her final year also. Her name is Alex Brunk. But she definitely was like an inspiration, and I saw her do it and I saw her go through it, and I was like, oh, I can do this. Like, it'll be so worth it to get it paid for and to get it all done in 4 years. I mean, you really can't beat that. But it was definitely a struggle. The summer after my sophomore year, I took 14 credit hours during the summer. And then the spring before that, I had taken like 23. I was taking community college classes and classes at Point Loma. So it was hard, but definitely worth it. And also, I know you and Nick will have helped me tremendously in securing an internship, because I wouldn't have been able to graduate if I hadn't have done it that summer. So something I'm definitely thankful for. But yeah, it was a challenge. And then also being the captain on the women's basketball team. It's definitely a lot of time management and organization and planning my days out, don't spend too much time doing stuff that's not productive.
Yeah, I mean, definitely time management is involved. I sometimes feel like, when I look back when I was in college, the more classes I took, just the more organized I was, and just really had to budget, every part of my day out. I guess you could get to the point that's just too much, but you managed it all very, very well. And so great job. Hey, I wanted to ask you, what would you say has been your greatest adjustment going from an undergraduate student to now a graduate student? What was that like, and what's been the greatest adjustment for you?
Yeah, so it's a little bit different because of COVID. Sitting here, my program is Monday through Thursday, 9:30 to 12:30. So sitting here on Zoom for 3 hours and then taking a break, eating lunch, and then starting homework, on my computer for another 4 or 5 hours can be challenging. But I would say the adjustment from undergrad to graduate program is I wouldn't say the workload is more, which I've been thankful for, but just reading. Like, you have to read. I mean, in undergraduate, sometimes you can get away with, okay, like, let me just skim this and prepare for the quiz. No, you have to read in graduate school. And I live with 3 people who are still doing undergraduate studies, and it's like, okay, they're watching TV all night and I'm in the corner reading. I'm like, you guys should read with me. But no, definitely is just like the comparison of, I'm like, oh, I have to read while they're watching The Bachelorette or doing fun things.
You're a testament to that hard work paying off for sure. Did you always know you wanted to get your master's, Cara, or is that something that, you saw Alex do it, so you thought, well, I'm going to do it? Or like, when did that seed get planted in your head that I'm going to do this, I want to get my master's?
Yeah, I knew it was something. I feel like I'm going to be a lifelong learner. I knew it was something that I wanted to do, and it was a goal. I didn't really know how tangible it was, and just like having to pay for it versus if I graduated in 4 years and then went to law school, or, what the setup would be. But I think when I saw Alex do it, I really was inspired, and that's kind of what made it like, okay, I can do this, and this is probably the best path for me.
Okay, so you talked earlier, Cara, about your interest in going into law, and now we know you're getting your MBA. So what are your career goals now? Does it still pertain to law, or do you have different career goals once you finish your MBA?
Yeah, so at this point, I'm kind of a little worn out from school, but I don't know if I'm interested in taking a break and then pursuing law school. Once I graduate, I'm kind of just going to be open to getting my foot in the door wherever I can, and just gaining experience probably before I head straight into law school. I'm also, through the MBA program, we have this program where we partner with a mentor. So my mentor is actually a business litigation attorney. So hopefully I can talk to her a little bit and kind of get a feel for if it's something I actually want to do, or if I just want to go into. I've been thinking of business consulting or a job in finance, so we'll see.
That's awesome. I mean, use those connections. It's great. You're going to make wonderful connections through the MBA program. And then don't forget about what you learned in Biz 3013, information interviews. Just do more of those, and that'll help you fine-tune your career goals even more. So it sounds like you've got a pretty good grasp on what you want to do. That's exciting, Cara. So Cara, as we know, the past several months, 8 months, have been absolutely crazy. We had the drive-through commencement, which was pretty incredible. I was there for most of it. Were you able to participate?
Yeah, I did actually. I wasn't planning on it, but my family was like, you don't know if you'll be able to walk for even your MBA, so you might as well do it. At least you'll have some pictures in the Greek. And I actually was moving into my new apartment that weekend, so I was like, okay, it's might as well. So yeah, my family, I had 9 family members come, so that was pretty fun.
That's awesome. Wonderful. So busy weekend for you with a move and then drive-through commencement, but it was a pretty amazing experience. So
It definitely was.
if we can't do the full-on commencement, at least this allowed you to, shake the president's hand and receive your diploma. So that's
Yes, definitely.
all right. So what accomplishment would you say has given you the most pride to this point in your college career?
I think you already mentioned it. Definitely
I know I
Business
stole
Administration Student of the Year. But definitely the fact that it was in 3 years is something that's very special to me. And I definitely couldn't have done it without all of the professors. And I'm just so honored that you all think so highly of me.
Oh, no, you're pleasure to have in class, hardworking, genuine, caring, and just a great listener as well. And a great team player. So you do on the court really transfers to off the court as well and into the classroom. So just a joy to have you as a student. So right now, this challenging time with COVID-19, what are you doing to kind of stay positive and keep plugging away and moving through this time? What's sort of the thing that keeps you going?
Definitely. I think this whole time has been like a great period of personal development for me. I rushed through undergrad, so I didn't have much of a social life outside of basketball in school, but now it's really nice to, even if it's like a virtual call or, meeting for a socially distanced coffee or something like that, it's nice to be able to dive into those relationships, and spending more time with my roommates now is definitely something that I really appreciate. But all in all, just grateful for socializing and things of that nature.
So just having those interactions, I know it's so important just to carve that time out for that interaction. It's nice you've got roommates there that you can chat with, and then have those Zoom meetings with friends too for coffee and social distance. So great.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. And so any shout outs? This is the last question I have for you, but are there any shout outs you'd like to give to the PLNU community, whether that's professors, your team, your friends? I'll leave that up to you.
Definitely. I think everyone plays such a huge role in our success as student athletes. The professors being so flexible with travel and getting our assignments turned in, something I'm so grateful for. Also, just the Point Loma community as a whole. We have so many donors and people who are so generous, especially during this time. And a lot of students wouldn't be able to pursue their education at Point Loma if it weren't for that generosity. And then also, of course, my friends and my family, definitely a huge support system. Couldn't do without all of those people.
That's great. Well, Cara, thank you for carving out time to speak with me and to your remote audience today. You are truly a blessing to Point Loma and a wonderful role model for other students. And I think I'm going to turn it over to Danny, and he's going to close this out.
Perfect.
There's only one little last thing to do. This is considered the cross exam. So Cara does have the opportunity to ask you back a question. So it's not so much me closing it out. It's back on you now.
I was going to ask you who your favorite student was, but then I remembered you had your son in your class, so maybe second favorite student. Just kidding. What's your favorite thing about the Point Loma community? I know you've taught at San Diego State and several other colleges in San Diego. So what's the thing about Point Loma that stands out to you?
Well, I think just kind of hands down, it's the sense of community that you feel here. That's true. I've taught at USD, I've taught at San Diego State, I've taught at all the kind of major schools in the area. And I've always found there's something just a little bit different here at Point Loma. And for that reason, I mean, I'm at Point Loma. I've been here 20 years full time. So that's super exciting. But
Congrats.
Thank you. I think an example probably one of the best examples. I remember I brought my daughter, she's graduated from Point Loma a few years ago, but I brought her to class when she was a senior in high school. And I asked the students to go around, talk about putting them on the spot, but this is what moms do. And I said, hey, everybody tell Olivia why she should come to Point Loma. And I went one by one, and I'll never forget, he was a baseball player in the back row. And he looked up and he said, you know, most of the answers were the ocean, look out the window, look at the view. This baseball player, and he says, the sense of community that you feel here. Everybody's nice and supportive, and he just kind of nailed it. And that's really, and Olivia, even after that class period on the drive home, she said, did you hear what that guy said? The sense of community and belonging, and that it's like a family. And I truly feel that not only with my students, but with the faculty. So, and my colleagues, it's a great place to be. And even internship supervisors, I oversee the internship program, and I've had many supervisors over the years say that they've had interns from all of the different universities in the area, and that there's something just so different about their Point Loma Nazarene University interns. And so it's just a great place.
It is. I have to agree with all of that.
Well, thank you both, ladies. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you to all the Sea Lion fans for watching this, and we hope to catch you on the next episode of Cross Exam.
All right, thank you.